What's up, what's up, what's up? This your boy Carbon Builds, and I'm back at it again. So guys, I know for the OG YouTube fans, you guys probably know what this is right here. A while back ago, actually almost half a decade ago, I was putting this engine together, and as you can still see, I still have it. You know, long story short, I just had a lot of things going on, and I had put this on the back burner. I was hoping to get it done actually way faster than what I thought it was gonna take, but for some reason, you know, just a lot of other things got put in front of it, so it caused this to just sit inside my closet for quite a while. But now that I have a little bit more time and just, you know, I can focus more on myself right now, I decided to start, you know, putting this back together. All right, guys, so first thing first is to get these studs in, right? So I got 4 brand new head studs, and I bought this little cheap oil to just lubricate any little thing I need to lubricate. So what I'm gonna do is just dip these in the oil. You don't want too much, right? Too much can actually cause you to mess with the torque readings. There you go. That might be better for you guys. So literally, the way you know you're doing it right is if it goes all the way down to the bottom. And as you can tell, the head stud has a little rounded edge after the thread, and you can tell that that's the bottom part, right? This upper part, it's actually it's less threads, and it has no ridge. This has a lot of threads and a ridge. So little dip. The first one I actually put a little bit too much, so I'm gonna make sure this time I don't put that much, right? I brought it inside. So the reason why I brought it inside is because I just needed a better position to install the rings. So the first thing you install, of course, is the oil separator. This goes at the bottom gap, this bottom gap right here. So the oil separator goes like this. The end's supposed to be facing you. When the end is facing you, you want the oil separator. Oh yeah, remember, make sure when the oil separator sits inside the piston, you do not want it overlapping. You want it button up. You want it to button up next to the other side. It might feel like it can't really do that, but don't worry about it, because it's like a spring. So once it's pushing against the actual cylinder wall, it springs in. If you look at it, I'm not sure if you can see it, but right here, that's where the two ends connect. So you don't want it to overlap where one side is sitting above the other side. The center of the intake, right? You want the oil separator sitting right here. And then you want the two oil separating rings, which are these, you want them kind of like one on this edge and one on this edge. Now these are real easy to put on. You don't got to worry about like you know, bending them too much, because they're kind of like I wouldn't call them flimsy, but they're kind of pretty flexible. They're not like the top ring or the second ring. Those two rings you really gotta be careful. But these you can kind of like maneuver them however way you want to, you know. And normally what I do is I just get one end into the groove that it's supposed to be in, and you know, I start with the bottom end first, you know, because it's just so much easier to start off with the bottom and then put the top above, you know. I mean, the first couple tries it is a little difficult, but boom, I got it in. All right, so this is the other one. Like I said, the other one's supposed to go above right here, and then you just twirl it around, kind of guide it for it to get into the groove that it's supposed to get into, and then boom, there you go. I was able to get this separator to join right here. This bottom ring joins right here, and this top ring joins right there. So now the oil separation rings are all in the correct area that it's supposed to go. Now we have the bottom compression ring. So, or you can call this the second ring. Now, this is more of the oil ring, if I'm not mistaken. This is more of the oil ring. Now, this is very, very fragile. This thing can break very easily. Actually, I broke a few before. So what I have is this tool right here, which is a ring separator. And they're cheap. You can get them on Amazon for, you know, a couple bucks, you know, $10, right? And what it does is it spreads open the ring evenly, and you don't really need much pressure. You just need just enough to kind of get it over this section, right? Now, from what I can read, the second ring is somewhat over here next to the other side intake, right? So you want the top ring over here where it has the KYJ label. You want the second ring over here. You want the third, all three of them somewhat in this area. So since it wants it right here, I'm gonna turn it this way, and I'm gonna do is just apply just enough pressure for it to open up the ring, and I'm gonna make sure this kind of like go over the groove, so I can already tell how much compression I need, or how much force I need to apply to get it over the threshold, because you don't want to break this ring, man. I broke a ring already, so I don't want to break another one. So I'm just applying a little bit of pressure on it so it can slide down, and there you go. It's already going over it. Just apply a little pressure just to kind of like it, just so it can wiggle down in there. And don't be too scared. Like, I know it's very, very scary. And it got over the first hole. I just needed to get down to that second hole. All right. And you remember I said I wanted it to line up with this right here, which is what it's doing. It's lining up with this right here, as you can see. It's right there. All right. Oh yeah, another thing. I may not have told you this, but the second ring and the top ring has a little label on it, as you can see. Let me show you off the top ring. So the top ring, if you can see, it says right there. It says ARP.1, right? That lets you know that you're facing the right way. So you basically, when the piston is sitting in front of you, you should be able to read it. You shouldn't have to flip it upside down in order to read that. If you have to flip it upside down in order to read that label, then you got the ring upside down. So when you're putting the ring in, you want the label facing you. Now that this side is done, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it, because this top ring has to go this way, right? And yes, you would You should add engine oil to the piston ring grooves and the piston ring entire surface, but I mean the piston entire surface. But honestly, you know, I did this so much times that I kind of have this process where I'm just gonna pour oil all up on it when I, you know, install it into the engine cylinder head, right? So this one is kind of like the oil separators, so it's a little bit more durable, but that doesn't mean you should, you know, apply a lot of force to it. It could still break. But honestly, I feel like the top ring is a lot stronger than the second ring. Second ring is, you want to baby it, you know what I'm saying? And look at that, like I'm already almost down into the slot, you know? And in the slot, look at that. It's so much easier, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's so much easier, the top ring is so much easier. And what I'm gonna do is literally, I'm just gonna take some engine oil and I'm just gonna pour it on there. I'm just gonna pour it on there. So let's go outside and let's go ahead and get this installed. All right, guys, so we're here. I have the piston wrist pin in my hand right now. I'm just gonna slide it in here just to make sure it fits properly. And it fits and it floats in there perfectly. You want to check that, make sure it floats nice and easy. It's not too rocky, like you can't really like rock it. It should be nice and snug, you know. You shouldn't be able to bounce up and down. It should just fit in there perfectly. No rock, no nothing, right? So we have the piston ring. How do we do this? First, honestly, before you even think about putting piston in, you gotta put a circuit clip on one side. Don't matter what side you put it on the what side. As long as you have the piston ring in the right orientation, which is like this, because you remember, this is the intake in, this is the intake. So the intake is gonna be coming from this side, right? The intake comes out this way, and it comes in this way, and the exhaust shoot out this way, right? Because the engine is pointing that way. The rear end is behind you, is this way, right? So since the intake is on this, it's on this side of the engine, you want the piston pointing towards, you want the intake label on the intake side, which is how we got it. So the best thing to do is to put the circuit clip that's on this side, right? So let's go ahead and do that. And you know what? Let me take this inside as well, because it just would be a lot easier for me to put the circuit clip in inside. All right, guys. So I went ahead and got the piston installed. I know I didn't record it. I'm sorry, guys, but just had a lot of things that started happening to me, which caused me to not be able to record it at the moment. Got a lot of parts that are misplaced right now, and I was just sitting there looking for them, and finally when I gave up, I was just like, you know what, let me just install this, right? So it's actually real simple install. Literally, you put the circuit clip on that side, and actually the circuit clip is a very easy circuit clip. It comes with a middle tang. So literally, you just grab the middle tang with like some needle nose plier. And let me show you what I mean exactly. Right there. So as you can see, it has that middle tang right there, right? So you just grab the middle part with a needle nose plier, and then you kind of like put the first edge, like the outer edge, not the part where the needle nose plier connects to, but that outer lip portion, you kind of like find a perfect slot, like where the groove is inside the actual piston. And then once you get it in there, you kind of like twist in itself to where it will kind of like compress, get smaller, and then you kind of push it at the same time, and then it kind of just slips in. Real simple. So I did one side. Once you got one side in, that's when you slide the piston in, and then on the other side, you slowly start sliding the wrist pin in. And then when you slide the wrist pin in, it fits. And then you just go ahead and you lock that circuit clip in. So literally it's done now. So now all I have to do is literally get the get the now all I have to do now is just literally install the cylinder head. So I want you guys to hopefully be able to watch me do that real quick. Let me go ahead and do that. All right, so of course you want it the right orientation, which is like this. All right. Oh, make sure you don't got it upside down, which is not. So that's one thing you need to worry about. Oh yeah, make sure you have both dowel pins. As you can see, there's one right here and there's one on a more upper portion. Make sure you got both dowel pins. And you know, of course, these studs are gonna be kind of like real stiff. For your chain, you wanna like bring it up. All right, so I got a magnet. Go ahead and grab it. There you go. So that magnet's gonna keep it nice and straight. All right. So for the piston, you want to make sure that the piston is perfectly straight, right? Because what you want to do is you want to slowly, with a flathead, right? You get a flathead and you kind of push the ring back, right? Make it flush. Once it gets flush, you bring it down and then you start flushing all the corners up. You start forcing the ring to tighten, right? You gotta watch out because the cylinder head wants to fall and it can fall and not orientate the piston ring the way it's supposed to. So what I'm gonna do is get that side nice and flush. Alright, so it's bomb. Got one piston ring in. Let me just go around the whole cylinder, make sure. Alright, so I got that one. I got the first piston in. Alright, so the oil separator rings are what not fully seating yet. Alright, so further back here is the issue. There you go. Boom. So I just had to rock them back and forth a little bit. And then, bam. Sin. One thing I messed up at. Forgot the gasket. So I'm going to do this all over again, guys. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. There we go. All right, guys. As you can see, cylinder wall, cylinder's in there. Cylinder's in there, man. Look perfectly fine. Yep. There you go.